Hello, everybody. Welcome to a live and a real live. We're really here with you right now. Meditation a day. We had a few months there where we had to send in some pre-recorded meditations, but EWN has been so gracious and said, yes, when you can make it, we're going to accommodate. So we just really appreciate all of you being here with us. GP Walsh, Master Spiritual Teacher, and I've renamed him. I've given him an extra name. It's the Self-Love Guru. And so... and it's nice to be back on screen with you, GP.
It's good to be here, Lisa. This has been a while because we haven't done Homeschool Live either.
I know.
So yeah, this is very nice. Feels like home.
It does feel like home. and we have Ava already here with us, and I think some other viewers, but they're not quite, the names aren't showing up. But so here we are. We're doing a meditation a day. As I said, thank you so much, EWN, for inviting us to join, and we'll share with you every month. We know how powerful this is and how comforting and loving it is to come together and share this very special time. And how GP and I, Lisa Berry, should introduce myself. Lisa Berry. We like to do this is to have a little chat in the beginning to give a theme, a subject. And I always like to choose them. I see what's feeling right and what's coming up. Then GP will kick me off the screen and lead a beautiful meditation. And then we'll come back and just have a little chat again. So today I've chosen the word inner peace to talk about, but here's why. Because last week I was listening to another podcast, and they reworded the word freedom and started using inner peace. And it really landed with me, just more so, like I could feel it. I was like, ooh, because freedom, I think I would think about as bondage. Something is stopping me from doing something, being something, like freedom. And it usually, to me, would involve someone else. When I heard the word inner peace, and that is freedom, I had a whole new way of looking at that. And so I wanted to bring this to you today, GP, with inner peace and how that does bring freedom. But what is there a difference there, or when we were thinking about inner peace, why is it there is something different to it, a different flavor than freedom, but it does represent it and even bigger to me?
Well, inner peace is simply a state, inner peace is your natural state. Freedom is our natural state. We think of both in terms of our relationship to external conditions. When we think of them in those terms, now it becomes conditional, right? I have peace because nobody's bugging me, right? Because, the bills are paid, because my kids are finally asleep. Right, and I have some time to myself, right? Or I'm free because I don't have to go to work today, right? Or it's the weekend. Now those are all conditional, right? And obviously those come and go. Those change with the wind, right? We have and most of those, in some cases, all of those, we have absolutely no control over, right? But if we can look at freedom and inner peace as inherent attributes of ourselves, if we can look at them as qualities of the self, right, now we're looking at a very different thing. And I'll try to bring people to that place during the meditation of peace, rather than thinking of it as something you get. It's something that you discover. And it really, once you taste it, you realize it is not a quality. Now that doesn't mean immediately you're going to be living in nirvana, right? Because our habitual way of thinking and behaving is built on the assumption that freedom and peace and abundance and everything is conditional, and therefore depends on my behaviors and what I do and who I'm with and what and the like. So peace it's not even a state, because even states are things that change, right? It's not even a state that I get there in meditation and then I come out of it and then I got to deal with all the stuff going on, right? Because even a state is something that comes and goes. The only thing that doesn't come and go must be something that is inherent in your being, right? Simple as that. And so this is what we want to connect up to. Because if I can find within myself a piece that is inherent in me, an aspect of myself, that piece can't be lost forever.
Yes. What word is popping into my brain that kind of, I think, will help people too with this? Sometimes we think, well, I deserve freedom, I deserve peace, but we don't have to deserve a natural attribute. We don't have to deserve
Yes.
something that we are. So that is
Exactly so. Yeah, exactly so. Yeah, I mean, it's to come to a place where you feel worthy of it is certainly better than the place of not feeling worthy of it, right?
right. Yeah.
But the fact of the matter, what you are, right, is like, if you're born a female or you're born a male, it has nothing to do with you're worthy of it or not, right? You just are. You just are. I'm not worthy. Well, too late, right? It's just a fact, and that's really the place we get to discover that this is simply what you are. We've simply been thinking of ourselves and thinking of terms of peace as something that is attained rather than something that is innate. And this is the big shift that constitutes the essence of spirituality. This is the spiritual path, going from what we believe ourselves to be to what we really are.
Yes.
There it is. I've defined spirituality in a nutshell.
I want to go so much deeper, but I don't want to take for the meditation. But I will say what I love that you ended on there was something that you are. And I was going to use the word authentic, that's what it is, because we want peace, because when we have our peace is disrupted, you're disrupting my peace, or you've taken my freedom. What that really, if we can translate that in between our head and heart there, to sit here is that this isn't right for me. It's not authentic. I'm not in alignment. I'm not being who I am. And therefore I'm not at peace. Therefore, I am not free. And so, I can't wait for the meditation to bring us here. And just before, because this is exciting that we have our people in comments and stuff here, I just want to say hello to everybody. And I said hello to Ava, but I want to say hello again. And Sue, yay! Oh, hi, Sue. I just arrested you. And Peter and Plian and Ava. There's and Hassan. I think I said that right. Oh, there's lots of going off. Thank you. And Mimi and Toby. We have a question, and I do want to just sneak this in right away. Why do humans drift away from their natural state of peace? Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's just we have to approach it in a couple of different ways. First off, it's not a mistake. It's part of the process of if you're going to become a truly awakened being, the process of awakening is one, the natural state, which is that of children and animals, losing it, and then consciously regaining it. Because the child is in the undifferentiated state, right? But they're really not aware of it. And with a child, you can really you can really see it. The undifferentiated state is not one of just peace, om mani padme hum, om mani, right? Because the child is like, "Wah!" Right? It's really excited, and then it's just like totally chill, and then it's angry, and it's the whole range of emotions, totally authentic, right? Right. So they're not aware of that kernel, that center around which it is all circling. So they are not aware of that undifferentiated consciousness. They're simply being it. I mean, the same is true of all animals. And so there's a certain need for us to fall from grace in order to consciously reattain it. And that process is why we're born a human. The human is the only one that can do that. We've been through every stage to get to here, and we are doing it for all beings. And so the reason why, we can look at it in terms of the physiology and the emotions and traumas and all of that kind of stuff, the stuff that causes it. But the reason why those things exist is because it has to be caused. It has to happen. This is not an accident. Adam and Eve were never intended to stay in Eden. That was the plan all along. After they finally left, God and the serpent sat down, had a couple of beers and talked it over. Man, that really went like a charm, didn't it? It went off without a hitch.
You know what? That's so interesting. That's how we experience. It's like we hide. We have $100 bill and we excited, but then we hide it so we can find it again. Hide it and find it again. This is what this feels like.
Remind me to tell you a little story after the meditation that really, that's really, really beautiful, that illustrates that very point. So you remember that, because I won't.
Okay, I will remember that. So what we'll do.
And Toby asked, how can I come back? Can we come back? And I'm about to do that.
Okay, well, we're about to return to peace with GP Walsh's beautiful meditation, and we'll come back and hear a story after.
Okay, so I'm going to say goodbye to Lisa for a moment while I hog the screen. It's all about me. I don't like my chair is so big because I want you all to see my little thing I got there. I love playing with sets and lights and all of that kind of stuff. I should have been an interior decorator, but I'm too clumsy. I break things. So anyway, I would invite you all at this juncture to put everything aside. Right? If your phone is there, put it on. Unless you're watching on the phone, but if you're watching, oops, sorry, Lisa, I meant to mute you, not to give you the screen. If you're watching on the computer and you got any distractions, please set them aside. This is, to use Lisa's term, this is me time. This is a time to focus on giving yourself some quality self-care. So it really is a focus on you. So set all the notifications and distractions aside, including any thoughts that come to mind of questions or insights or anything while we're doing the the meditation. So that after we're done, if there's any thought or question that comes up that's really important, it'll still be there. You can ask afterwards. So really let yourself have this experience. As you just let your eyes close, just very naturally. Take a couple of deep, slow breaths that are very conscious. And then let your breathing just return to normal. As your attention just sinks into your body. Body is way more than we think it is. And in meditation, it's very often used as an anchor point. As our attention is just there, feeling our breath, feeling it in the nose, the nostrils. You can feel it as the chest expands and contracts. Feel as the belly expands, contracts. You may notice that as you inhale, the heart rate accelerates a little bit. And as you exhale, the heart rate decelerates a little bit. That's why a great way to relieve stress is to make your exhale longer than your inhale. Notice just that, taking attention away and focusing it on the sensations themselves, the breath, the feeling of the body, the expansion and contraction of the belly and the chest. That already the body is kind of sinking into a different state. And just do a very gentle, gradual, but doesn't have to be slow, body scan. Just start at the top of your head. Just notice what the sensation that's at the top of your head, without any label about, seventh chakra or crown or forehead or any of that. Just let the scan go down. Your forehead, the back of your head, your face, the jaw. Just bring attention to it. If there's any kind of tension there, then just notice it, that's all. There's no agenda here. So just let it keep moving into the body. Down through the neck and the shoulders. Just gradually out your upper arms, down your lower arms to your hands, out your fingers. And then back up to your upper chest and down, around the back, and the lower chest, the middle back, your abdomen, your lower back, the pelvic floor, on your back of your legs, the front of your legs, past your knees to your shins and your calves, around your ankles, the top of your feet, now your heels, the soles of your feet, the balls, and really right out to the toes. And just see if you can feel the kind of the tingling sensation at the bottoms of your feet that you may notice around your whole body. And now just notice yourself noticing it. It's very subtle. And you sense that in the body, without any story or comment going on from the mind, and if the mind does comment, you simply say, "Thank you for trying to keep me safe, but I'm just going to do this right now. And just really be with the sensations with no commentary, no editorial. And notice without the commentary, the sensations are all neutral. They're neither positive nor negative. There may be some tension and some calmness. There may be some ache somewhere, somewhere else not. If there is in your body a particular pain, one that's just appeared or one that might even be chronic, give it your attention for a moment without any story, without any judgment, and see if you can just feel it without comment. And then broaden your attention to take in the area around it that isn't in pain. Because the pain can get a lot of our focus, but it's sitting in a space around it. And that space may be completely empty, completely neutral. And then notice that energy that we call pain, what it does. Now this state of your body, with all of its functioning, it's states, whether it be their aches or painlessness, whether there be tension or calm. There's just this flowing of energy that for your body, that's its natural state. That's just what it is. For your body, that's peace. It's not a state, it's just what it is. Now, see if you can perceive you who are aware of all of this, which is something subtly different, isn't it? I mean, no sensation could be there if you weren't there to see it and feel it and notice it. Sensations don't exist on their own. They require your presence. And notice how quiet the presence is. And it's there when the sensation appears, and it's there when the sensation disappears. And it's there whether you're focused on your foot or you're focused on your hand. And take away all of the sensations, and there you are, completely peace itself, utterly still, yet very real, very present, simply watching the waves of sensations in this ocean of existence. And just please notice that this is not something that you created. It's not a state that you have to get to or bring back. But it is something we have to learn to bring our attention to. That's why meditation is a spiritual practice. It isn't establishing peace. It is bringing our attention to it so that we can learn to abide there and be able to interact and engage with all of the ups and downs of life, but with our hearts rooted here, abiding here, at home here. So take another nice breath. Give yourself a big thank you for giving yourself some me time. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes and join us back here.
Ah, it was so beautiful. Am I muted? No, unmuted. Thank you. That was beautiful, and that's a simple tip, a direction. It already exists. It just needs our attention. And that works for everything in our lives. So if we give our attention to something that's frustrating us, and that's where we're going to go. But if we can bring our attention to peace and where it is already naturally in us. I thought that was brilliant, by the way, to bring your attention to somewhere where there wasn't feeling so much peace, maybe a little ache or a little, I chose I have a sore finger and on the phone too much. And, but I love that you said, but there's a space around it where it's sitting. That was so helpful. Yeah.
It's never isolated. Nothing is ever. Our attention gets very focused, which is really powerful when we learn how to do that. That's how we can accomplish things, right? Phase it all out, and this is what I'm working on. But with things that are very uncomfortable and painful, we tend to, we're like living there, or how am I going to pay the bill? How am I going to pay the bill, right? Right? But wait a minute. There's a whole world around it. It's not this huge. It doesn't exist in a vacuum. There's a whole world, and suddenly it can begin to draw from these other spaces. It can begin to spread and diffuse a bit. It's a very powerful way of recognizing that you're not alone.
Yes. Aw. If anybody had felt that, just pop it into the comments there. Oh, good. Carl Lucy says, being there made me cry, and I didn't want to come back. Why does coming back feel icky? Oh, good question. You're like, oh, I don't want to go.
Because there is a sense of coming back, right? The sense of coming back is the sense that somehow that is a place I go to, and that this other place I have to go to, right? Oh, Mom, I don't want to go to school. Right? But if the practice is taking this with you, right? That sense that this is the whole practice. That this is not a place you go, this is who you are. And that this is what is engaging in life. That it's not somebody coming out of here and going into life. That this is what's engaging to life in life. So this piece is going to engage with life. This piece is going to the PTA meeting, right? Or the parent-teacher conference, right? This piece is going to work, right? It's this piece. It's Buddha sitting to meditate. Right? And this is the shift, the mind shift in identity. That so I am no longer somebody trying to get to peace. I am peace embodied as somebody.
I think that's extremely helpful. I hope that both you, because Savvy Stacker, I couldn't even read that there, was literally the same thing about didn't want to come out, but that's right. We're not coming and going in and out of peace. Our attention is just being diverted.
It's only our attention that's going in and out. Yes.
That's yes, that is so helpful. Now we have a story about, well, I mentioned about $100 bill, finding it, but then
yeah. At first, for Savvy Stacker, why do I have such a difficult time actually doing the meditation? It's simply there's a practice. I'm actually going to do a video on a little practice you can do. It's like just focus, and we live in a very distracted time. Whenever you're attempting to focus on something, there will always be a period of time where there's resistance, irritation, boredom, right? And if we're not used to it, if we think there's a problem, and in our culture, it's a problem. I've got to take something. If it's too bad, I've got to check my email. It's not just me. It's time to meditate. Well, let me check my email first. I got to do this first. It happens to everybody, right? If we realize that's going to happen, then I learn how to be with that discomfort and boredom long enough that it can subside and the capacity to focus can begin to emerge. So you can practice that. There's ancient practices of learning how to focus. Staring at a candle or a spot on the wall or something for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, and just feeling. You're staring at something that's actually boring is really good. Because now you can just put all your attention on that irritation that wants to get up and not do it, right? And then you can actually train yourself to, okay, this is supposed to be happening. There's even physiological chemistry going on. I mean, it's measurable, right? Before the dopamine kicks in. I don't know what the name of that particular chemical is, but there's a chemical that's the predecessor to the dopamine happening. So there's a physiological component of it as well. But let me get to the story. Peace is engaging in life. Yes, we identify as the peace rather than somebody trying to get to it. And that's the spiritual transformation. But this is a beautiful story about finding it and losing it for the pure joy of it. And this is the experience of God. because your whole life is God losing it and finding it. This is how God experiences the bliss of being God. God kicked himself out of the garden.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Anyway, it's this beautiful story of this family during a very difficult time. I don't know how long it was ago, but very difficult times, very poor. It came time for Christmas, and there was no money for anything, right? And and it's one of those times where people want to buy things. Anyway, everybody gets up in the morning, and there, under the little scrawny tree that they had, there was a present for everybody. And they were all absolutely shocked. And there was like a sweater and a comb and there were these little things that, oh my God, this is so wonderful. What happened? Well, what it turned out was the older brother, a couple months before, had gone around and taken things from people a couple months ahead of time. And they'd all thought they'd lost them and forgotten about them. And he wrapped them all up and gave them back. Oh, and it was like they were all brand new. They were just so excited to see them. And it was just such a touching story. That first off, somebody would think to do that. And secondly, the experience of losing something and finding it again. When you run into that piece and I don't want to leave it, you've found something that you lost. This isn't something new. You found something that you have lost, right? And you know it. You remember it. Oh yeah, that's right. I know you. I know me.
Perfect story. Oh wow, that is so amazing. That works so beautifully together. And I actually lost one of my favorite earrings, and I found it yesterday, and it was like only like 2 days that I lost it. I was like, I got my earring back.
Just not long ago, I found a set of earphones.
Yes.
Yeah, earbuds that I absolutely adored, and these guys were very special to me because I've had them for like 5 years, right? They still work, and this particular guy, they're like gladiators. They've gone through the washer and the dryer twice, and still worked. I lost them for a year, and found them, and it's like this is like the best, right?
Great
Savvy
name for
Stacker's
earbuds.
got ADHD. So did Gabor Mate until he discovered that it had nothing to do with anything except original trauma. That's sitting still and doing nothing is difficult only because of the way you've been educated and the stuff. Here's what I would recommend you do. When you're sitting still and doing nothing, put all your attention on what your body is doing, right? And don't get up to get distracted, but instead, if your body wants to move, let it move. What it actually is your body's trying to escape something. But what it's trying to escape is not this moment. It's something from way back where it was confined. There's nothing more unnatural than taking a creative, energetic kid and sticking him in a desk and making him sit there for 6 hours. There's nothing worse. I mean, our education system is about as bad as it could possibly be, right? It's completely unnatural.
And I was going to add there,
EFT can help. EFT can help. She mentioned that because you are moving your hands, and it can help. But remember, with EFT, to focus your attention on keeping letting your body know it's safe. But if your body starts doing weird shit, let it. That's the important part. Let the body do things. There have been times when I've done that and my body's just started. Recently, it's been like the whole left side. I tried to do it on the right side and no problem. This side's like just doing, I find myself just like leaning like this. And Lisa pointed out that this is the feminine energy. And of course, my mother was mentally ill. It was like Just so it's like, okay, and I'm finding it balancing now over time, right? This it's not happening as much. And actually last night I could find this place where they were both completely in balance.
Oh.
It just settled in there. There was more tension that came, but it was like you could find this place that was perfect equilibrium, which I don't think I've ever found in my life.
Wow.
So the body has a way. The body is not what we think it is, folks. It is simply an aspect of consciousness that we're not aware of. It's not a thing.
So I was going to say, is I'm so glad that if you could accept that permission and then make it your own to let the body move. If you guys saw me during meditation, I have a scratch, I have an itch, I have to twitch, I have to settle, I have to move. Like I am wiggling all over the place. But I accept it. I give myself permission to do that.
I can see her. I can actually see her, and I'm watching her do stuff. Yes.
Like just this, but I love it. There's not just the permission and the allowing of movement, but now be the witness of it. Where is it? Is it mostly on a left side or the right side? Is it so mine was, I really felt more tension from my lower limbs than even though my upper was moving more, I could feel it more in my, and I remember reading once and I loved it, is that energy can be agitated. There's an agitation. And so we need to express it. So it's just an expression of this energy that's just moving. And if we give it the attention with love and curiosity, like, why are you here? What's showing up? What is it doing? Now that's a different than meditation. Now we're into self-inquiry. However, I love that you didn't say, no, you sit there, you'll get better at it. You just, do it for 1 minute time, then soon you'll be sitting for hours on end without moving, because that would be unattainable, like to think of that.
Well, when I first started sitting Zen meditation, that was what it was. And in Vipassana, you don't move, right? You don't move, right? If they even hear the shuffle of clothing, it's don't move, right? It's like, but it doesn't really work, right? Yeah, it worked 1,000 years ago in a male monastery.
Different lifestyle,
in Asia, right? But not here. Yeah, and clenching your jaw. Don't fight it, right? Now, don't clench your teeth so hard that you hurt yourself, because you can, but let it clench. What's that? Feel it, and then but then actually let it move. Try all sorts of different things in your head. Let your neck. Let the movement, that energy, do whatever it needs. Don't restrict it, right? Because the clenching there's traumatic energy that has not been able to discharge. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do a whole series of videos on trauma, the freeze mechanism. I'm actually writing them out like a real honest-to-God author, and not just some guy who shoots from the hip all the time. Because it's that important, it's that precise to understand what's actually happening in your body, which is not a thing, it is an aspect of consciousness. Right? It is the first chakra, and red light is as much light as violet light, right? The first chakra is as much an aspect of being as is the seventh chakra, right? Speaking to God and speaking to the ants is the same thing.
Love it. I'm just going to read some of these comments here. Yes, clenching the jaw a lot. I'll take myself. Who knows how long I've been clenching my jaw? It's possibly, could be, and you could stop today, and it may not. But the attention on what your body is doing to lovingly say, "Hey, you're here. What does this feel like?" And just draw that attention in meditation on the weekend and realize that it was done. Oh. It's wonderful. See, your attention, you were just so captivated by that meditation. You just really sunk into it. Yeah. You really were present.
So ADHD is really an artificial label. Mm-hmm. The moment you accept that about yourself, then your mind naturally conforms to it. And, it's like these kinds of things are useful. I'm not a doctor. I can't criticize it. But instead of that, okay, they say ADHD, but what's your actual experience of it? It's going to be more nuanced than that. So if you go into your feeling experience of it, it's going to come out with kind of a different thing. It's gonna you're gonna find, yeah, there's this kind of distraction, I can't focus, but there's also these other feelings here, right, that don't quite fit the diagnosis, right? And of course, in that profession, they have to do that, right? Because they have reporting. There's also, they have to, right? That's part of the job. I'm not, so I don't have to. Right? And no one can hold me accountable as long as I don't claim to have authority, right? Which I don't, right? I have no letters after my name whatsoever, right? I even shortened my name to 2, right? so there's nothing there's nothing there. Mimi asked about being comfortable being an introvert. Sometimes I feel, yeah. Again, throw away all labels. Are you really an introvert, or are you just afraid? And it's probably a mix of both, right? There's probably a natural introversion, and there's also probably a fear of being rejected and interacting, and maybe even just kind of a clumsiness. You don't know how to do it because you never have, right? And so we go, I'm an introvert, which is just a nice way of saying I have a reason to avoid everybody.
Right.
And so it's a strange mix. It's a very strange mix, but you have to remember, yeah, some people are more just kind of to themselves, but every human being needs human connection. We cannot survive without it. All mammals are like that. We're not turtles. We don't lay our eggs and say, see you around, kids, and head off, right? We save for their college education. Turtles don't do that. If the kid makes it to the ocean, they'll never know. But we are. Chimps are, lions. I mean, the solitary mammals are very, very rare. And birds flock, right? I mean, it's like we've learned that life's better together.
I was going to try to show you the geese, but now the sun's come out and now it's my window. You can't see that. I was going to show you the beautiful, my gaggle of geese, but there you go.
Yeah, and geese mate for life, right?
Yeah.
And if one of them dies, they don't divorce, and they don't remarry.
I know. I see the one little cutie pie standing there. That breaks my heart. And that's why I try sending them or her.
Yeah, they don't. Same thing with wolves. They don't make it. They don't get another mate. They don't do it. Yeah.
We definitely need connection. And in order to connect, I'm going to do a segue here. And in order to connect well with others, to play well with others, and have a quality thing, we want to know who we are as well. We want to be able to tune into our own feelings, what's right for us. Are we in alignment with that? Are we in sync with what we're doing? And so we've created a brand new masterclass that I want to invite you to tomorrow. It's free. We'd love for you to sign up. It is Mastering Me Time. And I'm actually going to be leading this masterclass, and I have now I'm here. There you go. And I've invited the self-love guru, master spiritual teacher, GP Walsh, to lead a beautiful meditation that will fit in just so, effortlessly, just weave right into with the Mastering Me Time. But it is tomorrow at 12 p.m. noon Eastern time. You just want to go to that link and register, and then show up. And we're gonna keep it. It's a promise too. It's not gonna be super, super long, but I'm gonna run it about 45 minutes on the masterclass part, and then we'll have the meditation. So if you book yourself, no longer than an hour and a half, we will absolutely be done by then. But we'll try to stick to the hour. So if you've got that, or just register if you want to watch the replay. During this Mastering Me Time, a lot of even what came up today will be a part of that, because as we get to know who we are, guess what else we get to find out? Who we've been acting as, be it good or bad or ugly, it doesn't really matter. We are, for certain reasons, stepping into roles that we've said yes to, that we can now, with curiosity and love, explore. Is that the role that I want to put out there? Is that my ego? Is that the self-image that I'm comfortable with? What is allowing me to experience the inner peace that I truly am and have, and everything. So I would love for you guys to say, I would like to, possibly change course in my life, but I don't know how and I don't know where. I would like to make more conscious choices and follow through with them. Maybe I know what they are, but I can't do them for some reason. Why is this? Come to Me Time, Mastering Me Time tomorrow, and I think you'll have a wonderful time with us, both of us. And then if not, you can watch the replay and then let us know how you feel about that. So, GP, come on back. We'll say thank you to everybody. I hope you. So it is, and everybody, if you're just listening, it's omschool.ca/mastering-me-time. Okay. And thank you, EWN, for having us here. Thank you, everybody, and your comments and being with us. And please go back, watch the replay of this meditation and do it again and again, however many times you'd like to and feels good. So thank you. We'll see you next month on the first Monday of December.